and I'll blow your house down. Well, like I said, the story goes, he blew the first pig's house down. So the next pig came and said, I'm going to build my house with some sticks. He said, and he talked to the man, and the man let him have his sticks, so he went on and he built his little house. Here comes the wolf again saying, knock, knock, knock. Can I come in? Second pig said, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
Go ahead.
So he said, okay. I said, okay. Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. And the second pig's house, of course we know, it fell down. But here comes the practical pig.
Go with it.
He comes up and the wolf, and the practical pig goes out and he asks the man if he could borrow some of his bricks to build his house. So the man gave him his bricks and he built his house, and the wolf came knocking and said, little pig, can I come in? Practical pig said, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So the wolf said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. But this time when he huffed and when he puffed and when he huffed and when he puffed, the house was still standing.
Woo! Go ahead.
But he could not get that house down. So when he found out that he could not get the house down, here comes the wolf coming with another plan. So the little pig said, so the wolf said, I know where some nice field turnips are. The pig said, I know where some nice field of turnips are. Would you like some of these pigs? Like some of these turnips? And the wolf said, where are they? He said, oh, they're at Mr. Smith's home field. So the wolf said, okay, I'll go. Will you be ready in the morning? He says, I'll call you. And we'll go get some turnips together. But practical pig, some reason he knew that this was still the enemy. So practical pig decides that since they had to meet at 6 o'clock, he would get up at 5 o'clock and go to the field of the turnips and get his food. So when 6 o'clock came, the wolf came just like he said he would. He was going to come and he was going to knock on the door. He would knock and said, practical pig, let's go on down to the field and get those nice turnips. But practical pig said, bro, you're too late. I already done cooked my turnips. I don't know what you got going on. I already done cooked my food. So of course you know this made the wolf mad. So then he had to come up with another plan.
Wow.
So he said, I know where there's some nice apples there. So he said, I'm down at the Mary Garden. You can see some beautiful apples. So practical pig said, oh yeah? So I think I'll go down to Mary Garden and check these apples out. Because I don't believe I could have a taste for some of these apples, you know. So he went on down to Mary's Grove and for some reason, of course, you know, he decided he was going to go a little bit earlier because he knew that the wolf had some tricks.
Go ahead.
So he decided that he would climb up the tree and go ahead and start getting those apples. But as he climbed the tree, he could see out in the field that the wolf was coming. So he didn't have time to get away. So the wolf came down and the big bad wolf said, you already here? I thought we was going to meet at a certain time. He said, well, I decided I would go ahead on and get a head start, you know, going to get me some of these good apples. But he knew that the wolf was trying to deceive him. So what Practical Pig did was he took one of those apples off the tree and he threw it way out so that way the wolf would run out and get this apple. Well, the wolf fell for the trick, and when he ran out to get the apple, Practical Pig jumped out the tree and he ran home. So the wolf said, you know what? This this pig is a trip. This pig ain't trying to, let me do my job. So he decides he's gonna come up with another plan. So the pig says, well, you know what? That's a nice fair. I should go to the fair. So the wolf said, okay, I'd like to come to the fair too. So when he went to the fair, he ran into the wolf. And at the fair, the practical pig had bought this churn to churn, this butter churn. So when he saw the wolf coming, he decided he would hide in the butter churn. But somehow or another, the butter churn rolled down the hill with the pig in it. And it frightened the bad wolf, so the bad wolf decided he would run away because he didn't know what was coming after him in that butter churn. So he said, well, you know what? Practical pig said, I frightened you. Wow, this is getting good to me. All this time you've been coming at me, and now I had a chance to frighten you. So, at this point, the bad wolf was mad because, he had got the best of him. So he decides, he says, well, you know what? Since you want to try to trick me, I'm going to come in, since I can't blow your house down, I'm going to come in through the chimney.
Oh.
I'm coming in that house whether you like it or not. So Practical Pig decides, he says, well, you know what? I got to do something quick. I got to start thinking about some things because you're about to take me out of my own house.
Go ahead.
So what he did was, Practical Pig decided that he would fill up a hot boiling pot of water with hot blazing fire coming out. So when the fire came, when the bad wolf came down the chimney, he fell into the hot boiling pot.
Go ahead.
The interesting thing about it was he cooked the wolf and then ate him. So that's the story of the big bad wolf.
Go ahead.
But ain't it just like the big bad wolf? And the big bad wolf is just like the devil.
Go ahead.
Standing on the outside trying to blow storms in your life.
Go ahead.
See, I've come to realize that either you are entering a storm, you're in the midst of a storm, or either you're coming out of a storm.
Go ahead.
See, I don't know what it is, but some storms are just like thunderstorms. And so I began to research thunderstorms and found out that a thunderstorm is a storm with lightning and thunder. And it's produced by cumulonimbus clouds, usually producing gusty winds, heavy rain, and sometimes hail.
Mm-hmm. Go
But
ahead.
what causes a thunderstorm?
A whole lot of hail.
The basic ingredients used to make a thunderstorm are moisture, unstable air, and lift.
Mm-hmm.
So you need moisture to form clouds and rain, and you need lift. So this can form from fronts, sea breezes, or mountains. But when are the thunderstorms most likely to come? That's the thing about a thunderstorm. See, a thunderstorm can come year-round. You don't never know when a thunderstorm
Go
is.
ahead, say it.
So thunderstorms come year-round, but they are most likely to happen in the spring or the summer months and during the afternoon and evening hours. But how do you know if lightning is nearby in this storm? Well, if you see dark clouds, then lightning could be present. But the best thing that you should do is always listen for thunder.
Go ahead.
It says that if you hear thunder, then you need to go indoors or get in a car. It says don't be outside where lightning can strike you. Because sometimes your hair can stand up on the end or your skin starts to tingle, then you know that lightning is about to strike. But what was so good, it says you need to get down on your knees and keep your head tucked in. Don't lay flat because it can give lightning a better chance to strike you.
Go ahead.
So how many of us have experienced the enemy blowing storms in your life?
Amen.
See, he begins to huff and puff and he causes havoc in our lives. And I can say that I've experienced some thunderstorms in my life. And I could quickly identify that I was in a storm because I had dark clouds hanging over me. And as I was going through all this physical abuse in the previous marriage, and I can honestly say that there were many days that I felt like I couldn't go on. And I felt like that me and my two boys at the time, I kept saying, Lord, why in the world am I going through all this stuff? My babies are so young, I don't understand why I'm going through this stuff. And you keep trying to hang on in there. You keep trying to make things work. And then we went through a period where I couldn't even go in my own house. Me and my boys had to sleep in the car because we would be locked out. Couldn't even get in our own house. So how many of you know that I was in the midst of a storm?
Yes, yes.
I was in the midst of a terrible storm.
Go ahead.
Trying to hold on to my young boys. Trying to explain to them what this storm was about. And at the time, I really didn't understand myself why I was in the midst of this storm. But then on, as time went on, I went through another storm and had some mountains and hills to climb.